whatever gone is, I think one of the things that the military community needs to do is start valuing everyone who served. And there's a lot of people who do. There's a lot of people. I mean, obviously we have that inner rivalry, BS and stuff that we do and all that kind of stuff. But I've seen stuff on Facebook and different forums that basically say, oh, if you were in the National Guard, you're just a bunch of wussies, or they negate all the people in the rear and the gear, or the people who never got deployed. And a lot of times it's not by our choice. So to sit there and shit on all these people who basically didn't get the opportunity to experience your experiences is not a good thing, because a lot of us none of us want to experience PTSD and death and stuff like that, but we wanted to do more. And so I think we need to say, hey, it sucks you didn't get to go. We value you as well. We all, signed the line. We all did the oath. We all tried to do our best. And let's celebrate that. Whether you were, you got a paper cut in the rear and the gear, or you got a Purple Heart in the front by kicking in the door. I think we all play a very valuable part. And that's still hard for me to say, but I feel like that's where we need to start moving these conversations and say, okay, let's equal this out and, give each other hugs. And we could talk some crap to each other, but at the end of the day, we all did our part.
I think you're right on point with that. And that's exactly what I do. That's how I approach it. I talk crap all the time. I will to other services. It's just the way, it's what we do. But I'll tell you right now, first and foremost, that the men and women that I deployed with, a lot of them were that National Guard. They were the ones who were called up in the reserves. They got trained up and then went to war. And it was like, wow, what the heck, man? They're sending the reserves over here instead of our active duty. So I never do that. And I think that's something that you and I and the listeners have to point out and say, hey, look, it doesn't matter what capacity you did, where you served at, what branch, what your job was. We're all brothers and sisters in this, and we all got to work together and lift each other up. So I'm on board with that. And that's what our listeners are going to take message-wise from this too. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of shift gears a little bit. You talk about lifting everything up, and you and I've talked a lot offline of how we can work together and some of the things that we can help improve in our veteran community. A lot that you and I have talked about has been on the hemp side. When we talk about all the different benefits that hemp has, from hempcrete to fibers to food to obviously the oils. Whether it's CBD only or full spectrum, it doesn't matter. What do you think it is in our community that could be positive by dealing with hemp? What are some of the benefits from it?
Well, besides, the wellness issues of finding, I can't say this because the FDA might come slam us, but, it definitely improves the wellness things from, anxiety to body aches and stuff like that. But I think there's also a lot of career and job opportunities in the industry. In fact, Josh, you and I know we're on the same wavelength of creating, some kind of collaboration where we help veterans and get into the field and either learn to grow or become extractors or starting business. And I think as in our country, as the hemp idea is exploding, cannabis, whatever, there's a lot of opportunities for people to get in there and make a good career out of it. And, that helps two things. So, from the medicine side, we're able to address some of those wellness issues, but on the unemployment side, which thank God has, been reduced over the last several years, but still pretty high for those who come out of the military, is to provide jobs and careers for them. So I think it's a double win. And I think it's just finding ways for companies and organizations like ours to say, how do we band together to generate this goodwill, to generate these opportunities, and use that as a platform for basically creating an armed forces, so to speak, of military people in the hemp and CBD cannabis world. And I'd like to see where that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. It excites me the most about this, James, is we've talked about it, and now we're going to be about it. And I'm really excited that we're able to tell our listeners today a little bit about what we're going to do. And that key is going to be training them up and getting them educated on what this industry is, one. Two, let them find their new passion, because that issue that we find when getting out of the military, they lose that sense of mission, right? They lose that sense of, what do I do now? And we're going to try to help them find that new mission in life, whether it's extraction, growing, formulation, if it's making food, if it's making fiber, clothing, whatever it may be. We're going to help them do that. And we're going to do it with that collaborative effort and working together, because that's what it has to be in this community. You started out the conversation earlier talking about some of the bad things, the negative things that happen in our industry, and there is a lot of that infighting, that BS of let's spread rumors, let's do all this crap to stab people in the back. Man, it's so frustrating, but we have to stay the course, right? You said it earlier. Don't let that one bad apple ruin the entire batch. So we've got to stay the
Yeah.
course and push forward on that. And that's something I think you and I can do, and bring others that are interested in that to the table and work together.
Yeah, I agree. And it's hard not to focus on the bad things sometimes, because I think that's what we're trained in some way to do. And in fact, it's kind of interesting. This weekend, I found another veteran who launched a hemp company and started reviewing our website, found out that they ripped off a lot of stuff from Happy Joe. I mean, word for word, some of the stuff.
Wow.
And I was livid. I'm like, I scorched earth policy. I'm going to call our lawyers. We're going to blow this crap up. And then I was like, you know what? Forget it. They say imitation is the best form of flattery or whatever.
Sure.
Just let it go. Hopefully, they get called out, and focus on the positive, which, the conversation you and I have been having, conversations I've had with other veterans. And, I think it's just transition that mindset. When I talk about the name Happy Joe, is like, I don't want to become Angry Joe by any means. So
Right.
I think it's, transitioning all these negative thoughts, say, what can we do to empower and foster a whole new story and positivity in our community? And it's there are some great people. There's obviously, we've talked at great length and we hit it off, and there's so many other people. And now it's like, how do we put this into practice? And Josh, I know I talked about, even getting away from that idea of competition. I mean, you can have friendly competition and stuff like that, where we both, sell similar products, we have similar ideas. But at the end of the day, isn't the goal to go out there and benefit the military community and improve lives? So
Absolutely.
Why do we need to compete? There's how many millions of veterans do we have in this country who need what we offer, and we can't hit them all? So, I think it's time for people to band together and say, let's make this happen and do some good in the world.
Well, that's exactly right. And we've talked about that pie, how big that pie is,
Yeah.
and how there's plenty of pie to go around. So there's no question about it. And it starts right here with you and I, the listeners that are listening today. If they want to get involved and be a part of this process, that's what this is all about. I put that message out. You and I talked about last week. What if we do a fundraise that's just veterans? A veteran-owned company. We put this together. I put that message out on Facebook and had like 40 yeses and 2 nos. I mean, so there's plenty of interest. We can do this. We absolutely can do this. It just needs to be that people have to take the reins and drive the horse, and that's what you and I are going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the thing is, I've told several people about this, including, our conversations together, is what I would love to see is veterans banding together and basically, I hate to say it this way, but give the finger to the government and say, we're not going to keep relying on you. We're going to take care of each other. I mean, that's what we were taught in the military is,
Right.
cover your buddy's six, and I'm like, why do we lose that when we get out of the service? I mean, yeah, there's those blue falcons, no one wants to take care of, but by far, most of us are stand-up Joes. We're good people. So why aren't we fighting harder to help each other out? Whatever that is, it doesn't have to be CBD, cannabis, hemp, whatever. But I feel like the time is right for us to say, let's look out for each other. Let's help each other out. When we start talking about doing this new veteran-grown thing, whatever it ends up being called, was specifically to that purpose. Is like, how do we bring together people who say, you know what? We want to help each other be successful in whatever it is we're doing, whether it's growing hemp, extracting, or just being able to get some medicine to, help our problems going on, whatever that is. But I feel like we can be such a force if we choose to work together, as opposed to trying to do our own thing all the time or just, ignoring each other.
That's so true. Teamwork makes the dream work. There's no doubt about it.
That's right.
So, for our listeners, if you want to share a little contact information, how they can get a hold of you, if they want to look you up, go ahead and do that, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, awesome. So best way to get a hold of me is you can go to happyjoe.com. We're actually updating our site with some new stuff. So in the next few days, you'll see that. You can hit me up directly by email, james@happyjoe.com. That's james@happyjoe.com. Or you can call me direct, 405-761-5922. That's 405-761-5922. Of course, type in James Dalman. You'll find the good, the bad, and the ugly on the web. But here's the thing that I want people to know is, I tell people this all the time. I have an open door policy. So you don't have to have your people get with my people. Call me directly. If I can't get to the phone, I'll let the voicemail get it, but I will get back with you. Text me, whatever it is. I know in this day and age, we're all like, let's be guarded. Let's not publish our stuff out there. But, there's so many of us that are hurting or needing just, someone to help uplift them that day or to say something positive. And I'd rather, people be able to get in contact with me instead of going through these, stupid chains of command or whatever to get help. Because, I've been there. There's been days I really wanted to talk to someone or someone listen to me complain for a few minutes, say, all right, drive on with the heart on, whatever that is. So that's my information. I welcome, calls, emails, texts, all that good stuff. And would love to help anyone that's listening, with whatever I can.
James, thanks so much. Golly, I'm so excited about what we're going to do together and how we're going to help our community out. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This has been the Veterans for Cannabis podcast. I'm Joshua Littrell, and James Dalman, you are our special guest today. Brother, I am really, really happy to call you a brother and really excited about what we're going to do today. Thanks so much, and take care.
Thanks.